Hi there. Welcome back to another edition of Premier Investments and Wealth Management Financial Program. My name is Doug Wagner. I'm your host, PIWM. We are going to be talking with three gentlemen who are on the table with me. I'm going to introduce you to them in a second. But first of all, I want you to ask yourself this question. Am I ready for retirement? Am I ready for my children's education? Figure out how much I want to participate in it in the future. Am I ready for that big purchase in the future? Maybe you're in middle age and the kids are getting out of school and you've got to the point where you start thinking about what am I going to do with my retirement? You just don't know what's going on. Got a solution for you. Premier Investments in Wealth Management. Go to their website at premieriwm.com. Click Get Started. All you do from there is answer a couple of questions. They'll provide for you a one-page Premier Vision document, and they will also give you a free, no-obligation consultation. Now, I know what you're thinking. Usually that means they're going to come to your home and sit down with you for an hour or two. If you want them to, they'll do that. That's fine. They've got no problem with lemonade and sugar cookies. They'll also do it online. They'll also do it where you come into the office. However you want to do it, it's important that you have a financial plan for your future that you can have confidence in. That's where Premier Investments in Wealth Management comes in. Named to Forbes 2025 Best in State Wealth Management Teams, Premier Investments in Wealth Management. Call for your appointment. If you don't click the Get Started, premieriwm.com. That phone number is 800-383-6590. Join us in the middle of the pack. He's a guy that's been well out of the pack for many years. Wealth advisor with over 30 years of experience in the investment industry. All I usually see is the back end of his vehicle because he's going. He's well in front of me. Jonas Everett, how are you?
Good, Doug.
Good.
Yeah.
Save that one. Whew.
I like that one.
I about got in trouble for that one.
Lemonade and cookies, you said?
Lemonade and sugar cookies.
Sugar cookies.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you're like Elias Randall, though, the new sheriff in town. He's a guy that's pretty darn physically fit. He is a high school official for football and college football official. So maybe sugar-free lemonade and cocktail peanuts. That'd work for him. He's a vice president and wealth advisor, Premier Investments in Wealth Management. In addition to that, how you doing there?
Wow. I can probably find some time to have some milk and some cookies, I think.
Milk? Lemonade?
No, I'll skip the sugar-free lemonade. I'll just have a glass of whole milk with my
Okay.
cookies.
Ooh,
Full
for you.
fat.
I like that. There you go.
Yeah, I don't like that watered-down milk stuff. I like the regular milk.
There you go. That's good stuff right there. Also with us today, President and Wealth Advisor for Premier Investments in Wealth Management. He is an accredited investment fiduciary with over 22 years in the investment industry. We know him as the Big Kahuna. You know him as Roger Abel. Hey, Roger.
How are you, Doug?
I'm doing fabulously. Lemonade, sugar cookies, got a preference?
Both.
Both? Okay, there we go.
I love sugar.
Yeah, I know. I love it too. That's a problem.
My youngest daughter loves sugar.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're a cookie monster. I said, I am too.
Yeah, that's too good.
We haven't met too many cookies we don't like.
I know. See, that's what summer and bicycling 50 miles is for, so that you can have another couple extra beers or cookies.
Did you do
or
the
pieces of
RAGBRAI?
pie.
Did you do it?
I did not, but I helped people train for RAGBRAI. And then there's the Hell Ride in Texas where you do 100 miles in the 100 degree heat.
Any physical activity with the name hell in it, you can count me out.
Anything that's 100 degrees in Texas, count me out.
I don't know. It can be fun. It's very physically demanding, but it can be.
Is it flat? Texas pretty flat though.
Yeah, it is.
It's not like
flat.
Northeast Iowa.
Do you want to go ride bicycles in 110 degree weather?
I don't want to ride bicycles when it's 72 degrees.
I know. Jonas, you going to golf in 100 degree
That's
weather?
why they invented cars. Depends if my round is paid for, Big Kahuna.
Well, there you go.
You want to paid for a round. Well,
Nice.
we'll go to the club later.
You know, we were talking about milk here because he likes the whole milk, and we know that he probably doesn't cry over the spilled milk. This gets to the essence of Jonas's money tip of the week.
Well, you hear you never cry over spilled milk, but sometimes it's okay to cry over spilled milk. And in the investment financial planning world, the spilled milk is just paying the taxes on some of your investment gains. And I had a family friend that she received an inheritance, a really, really fine company, one individual stock again, Doug, one needle as we call it. Well, this company actually merged with another company, so she was able to get shares of company stock, and they happen to make 80 to 90% of all the French fries in the country.
Oh.
So they're just as Americans love their milk and their sugar cookies, and that they love their French fries too.
French fries.
They don't stop eating those French fries. So what happened was between 2023 and 2024, there was 100% gain on this stock, and I was able to talk with my friend a little bit, and I said, hey, you need to go talk to your accountant. You should talk to me. Sell some of this. You need to look at doing a financial plan. She never did. What ended up happening? What do you think happened to that individual stock?
Went down.
Went through the floor?
It's
or went down?
back to its normal price, which is usually the case. But again, sometimes if you do have a financial plan, it's okay to cry over spilled milk. If you know you're going to lock in a gain and you know that you're going to have a big tax bill, you can actually put some money aside for that and not have to cry too much over that spilled milk.
Jonas, this is actually a reason to have an advisor. If you have an individual stock that has a large gain, there are ways to diversify that individual stock without realizing the gain.
Really?
There's some advanced planning
without
techniques.
selling,
without selling, there's still ways to diversify from that individual position. I learned about this at a conference I was at because, historically stocks that go through the roof, there's some names, I can't name them, but if they go through the roof, typically once they hit kind of this high mark, a lot of times they'll underperform the indices. There are ways to unwind that position without selling. So if someone out there has a really large gain in a stock, you don't want to sell it, but you want to diversify away from one individual stock and not run the risk of it going back to its normal self. You should reach out to an advisor. There's a lot of advisors who know how to do it.
Yeah.
You go to Premier IWM or hit us on the phones at 800-383-6590. And I didn't even think about that till you brought it up because I didn't look at your money tip of the week. But there are ways to get out of that or diversify it without realizing all that gain.
He didn't look at the money tip of the week because he just waits with bated breath.
I just want to react.
Exactly. Let me react to it. Exactly.
Can I just do a reaction show? I'll react to what you say.
Oh, absolutely. Let's do it. We won't even have that, so I won't even call him.
I'm not going to look at the rest
show.
of the outline, so I'm just going to react.
Then the silence.
I'm
So
out.
you just react at this point. So this is interesting. It's also interesting because we were talking about taxes in another recent show, Jonas, about how property taxes. And I was at a party the other night. We had a little get together with the neighbors, and the neighbor said, "Yeah, my property valuation just got bumped by 18%." I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah, I fought it last year and won, but they did it this year, and I don't think I'm going to win this year." And so now, if he's got a fixed, which he doesn't have a fixed income, if he did though, that's another 18% he's going to have to figure out how to come up with, because the government, it doesn't matter what size of the government, they do not like it when you do not pay your taxes.
Well, I think we're all going through this, and I love to use the upside down question when we do a financial plan. Are property taxes ever going to go down? Probably not. Probably not in every area. So again, starting with kind of what Elias said in another past podcast, starting with a foundation and an emergency fund of some kind,
Right.
and just planning for those property taxes. I don't know how many times I'm doing a financial plan for somebody, and they're like, they act like their driver's license renewal is like something new each year. Their registration. It's like, oh man, I was stuck with that again, and I'm like, hold on a second. You have to do this each year. Don't act like you're surprised. I mean, let's start keeping accurate records and have a financial strategy. I like for people to think of a financial plan as kind of their personal financial command center that's unique to their situation. And that talking about money is very, very popular for people.
Yeah.
So they love to talk about money. They love to talk about themselves. That's what a financial plan is your personal financial command center.
Yeah, it used to be show me your checkbook and I will show you what your goals in life are, what your soul is, so to speak. So it's kind of funny you were talking about doing the things like adulting, like you got to go out and you got to register to vote, you got to go out and get your driver's license. Well, there's a recent Bank of America study that I found that talks about what young adults are looking to do, and there's more of them now that are trying to improve their financial health. Elias, what are some of the things that struck you out of that study from Bank of America?
Well, here's some really cool key findings in here that 72% of the people took steps to improve their financial health. And here's what I keep finding interesting about more and more of this data. And I think as time goes, and always has been, older generations are going to complain about younger generations of people. That's just the way it works. Right?
There's been a meme here out in X in the past 3-4 days. It's been that. I mean, there's like this huge boomers versus Gen Z or Gen X.
Yeah, and that's never going to change. Older folks are always going to complain about younger folks. I'm starting to do it. I'm sure I'll continue to do it. But I think really what we're finding in our business is young people are more engaged. They want to learn about investing. They want to be responsible with their money. I think at bigger percentages than older generations. And maybe that has, I don't know, maybe it has a lot to do with just the content around investing and the stock market. It's more readily available. There's more education. Mm-hmm. But I think there's a lot of cool things going on. And just the fact that 72% of people in a survey made steps to improve their financial situation. And, whether that's putting money towards savings or paying down debt, I think what it implies or hints to, no one wants to be stressed. No one likes stress. And especially, why would you be stressed about your money when there are just basic things that you can do? And maybe is it going to happen today? No, but over the course of 3, 4, 5 years, 10 years, can you set yourself up for success? Most people should be able to achieve it with some basic attention to fundamental things.
Roger's reaction.
What this makes me think about when I hear, I love that you just do my reaction to this. Here's what it makes me think.
We got a Kai around at the bottom too, I'm sure.
We've talked about on the show a lot that there's, up until 50 years ago, 401ks didn't exist. It was all a pension, right? So my parents' parents or grandparents had a pension. No one taught my parents how to save. They had to figure it out on their own. My guess to this, or my intuition to this, is that there is a percentage of the population woefully underprepared for retirement because they didn't realize the importance of saving at a young age, and their company had a pension and froze it or stopped it, and they never started. Gen Z, is that who we're talking about? Gen Z or younger generation. They're now watching their parents struggle, and they're saying, that's not going to happen to me.
Right.
And they are very in tune to saving. I also think that COVID probably played a role in this, because what we saw during COVID was the mass adoption of day trading and young people trading options as entertainment. Yeah. And while that may not be seen as a good thing, what it is engagement into the markets. Right. And if you're going to learn an expensive lesson, when you're 18, 19, or 20, might be the time to do it. Yeah. So I think that those are a couple of things that are leading up to this engagement with younger adults, is that they've seen their parents, maybe their parents are struggling, but also I think Elias said, there's a lot of financial advice pushed out in the media sources that they're watching, right? TikTok, YouTube, whatever, Instagram, whatever. Yeah, but they don't watch TV.
They see the YouTubes of it. They see the
clips, but they don't watch TV.
Exactly. No, you're right about that. They
the
really
YouTubes.
Don't. The YouTubes?
The YouTubes.
Is that what they're called? They're tubers?
The tubers, yeah. The FBs.
That's what's actually amazing. All these young kids, they just want to be YouTubers.
Yeah.
My daughter has a channel. She's posted 257 videos in like a month. 257 videos. I'm like, where do you get the energy from?
I know. That's like, if you did one a day, you'd get like 2/3 of a year in right there. That's amazing. Premier Investments and Wealth Management. We're talking about 10 things you can do to improve your financial health based on a Bank of America study of younger people, Gen Z. And we're talking with Jonas Everett, Roger Abel, and Elias Randall. They're available for you at premieriwm.com. Click Get Started. Once you get to that website and you can just answer a few questions, they'll provide for you what's called a one-page Premier Vision document. And what that allows you to do is find out, am I ready for retirement? What is your goal for your money? And you know what? You can have multiple goals for multiple buckets of money. That's what they do at Premier Investments and Wealth Management, named to Forbes 2025 Best in State Wealth Management Teams. They help you get a better understanding, a better relationship with your money as well, and your finances and your bills and the way you live your life. We're going to talk with Jonas here in a second about the concept of lifestyle investments. PremierIWM.com, click Get Started. They'll give you a free no obligation consultation. They'll hand off that one-page Premier Vision document, or you can call for your appointment, 800-383-6590. Jonas, a couple things that I want to talk with you about is the first thing is that, not here, but I was thinking about this, 24% of these kids, I call them kids, Gen Z, said we're going to pay down debt. We're in a cycle where we've got spiraling inflation, and they said we're going to start paying down debt. There is a group of younger people out there that are like the extreme CrossFitters, only financially. They're doing something called FIRE. Explain that to me, and how it may be extreme, but it's something that could be something people can learn from.
It is. I mean, it's pretty neat. It stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early, and it was based on a book that was written actually in the early 1990s. It's a great concept. It's a financial plan, Doug. That is exactly what it is. And one of the things that we try to do with our plans a little bit different. I like the techniques in the book. I have the book in the trunk of my car. Actually, I can go out and get it and show it. And show you, talk about reaction.
This dude is one of the best readers you'll ever meet. He's one of the most well-read people.
Yeah, it's Vicky Robin. It's great. It's a great read. I mean, that's what I love about Premier. The more research, we want people to do the research and come in here and ask us about it.
Yeah.
But we also want to do a unique financial plan. Thanks for giving us this study, Doug, because I really like, I think the younger generations kind of get a hard time, maybe an inclination that they're a little bit on the lazier side. I don't think that's the case at all. I think they're the most educated generation about finances ever. They could be overeducated, but what jumped out at me at this study was half of Gen Zs thought that the cost of living was getting in the way of their financial success. Mm-hmm. And I see that in everyday life. There's no such thing as a Target girl anymore. I mean, people are going to buy their groceries wherever they're the cheapest. Oh. It doesn't matter what your social
What's a Target girl?
Social economic. It doesn't matter what your social economic status is.
Yeah.
You're going to go and you're going to, I mean, the Everetts go to 5 different stores.
Where's the best price?
To get their stuff. We started Aldi's for our basic stuff, and my wife and I could get all our groceries there, but the kids are picky. They don't like the meat at Aldi's, so we have to go over to Fairway to pick out the meat because the kids like the meat there. We already talked about Target because we got to go to Target because they have our coffee and our creamers there. They don't have them, the generic. They don't have them at Aldi's. Mm-hmm. And then we haven't even gotten our drugs yet. We got to go to Hy-Vee to get our drugs, and then one of those 4 places are out of something.
How many drugs do you have?
And one of those 4 places are out of something. So
prescriptions.
My wife makes me wake up early the next morning in my pajamas without brushing my teeth and without combing my hair. I go to Walmart and finish up the shop. And so
that's not true. You missed one.
What's that?
Because we followed each other around the other day.
Oh yeah,
I saw you at New Pioneer Co-op, and then we went to. We followed each other to the grocery stores.
That's where he goes for his turmeric.
Yeah.
Fix.
No, I saw him there, and then he left. and he went to Oakland Road ID, and then I followed him right there to the local department.
So that's Roger and I went to 2 out of the 5.
Nothing but beeps all of a sudden. It's just funny. Molly's like, what do I do with this?
Yeah,
This is
so
great.
if you're not watching what you're spending, I mean, obviously that's going to interfere with your financials.
Lifestyle investments is something that you talk about as well. You can do these if you still are on something where you're just pounding the money away and putting it away because you're making a choice.
Yeah, I mean, people remember and they look at things, and I think a milestone is a good picture for people to imagine. If you start automating your savings and you're a Gen Zer, you're like, someday I'm going to get tired of paying rent. My rent goes up each year. Start automating your savings now for that down payment on the house. And whatever your next milestone is going to be, that's what a financial plan does. If you don't have and I'm just kind of picking on buying a home, at some point, I think everybody most people in America are going to buy a home. If you're a Gen Zer and you don't have a home, you're going to be tired. You're going to be sick and tired of paying rent at some point, and you're going to purchase that new home. Automate your savings now. Have $25 a week go from your checking, maybe from one bank over to a credit union, and just start it now because you're going to have a milestone.
You listen to the financial radio, internet, things like that, and there's a guy who's got a program. His name rhymes with Rave Damsey, and he talks about paying down your debt one of a couple of different ways. And I was going to get your reaction, Roger. Avalanche or snowball?
Snowball.
Okay, snowballs where you start with something small and then you just push it down the hill and it grows in size as it goes.
Yeah, you list your debts from smallest to largest. You pay the smallest first, minimum payments on everything else. After you pay off the smallest, you go to the next one, and that creates that snowball effect. And here's why the snowball works. It's the psychological accomplishment of completing something, which makes the next task easier. The avalanche, if you're an engineer, is probably what you should look at because you're going to be numbers minded. Right. I want to pay off the highest interest rate first, even though it might take me 3 years to get any positive reinforcement or satisfaction. But for most people, the debt snowball is 100% the way to go about paying off debt. It's easy to understand. There's no numbers involved other than just the minimum payments and how much you can pay.
It's really funny, Elias, because it's something that when I was taking a look at, I was more along those lines. I went through and I had the spreadsheet there. What was the total balance? What was the monthly payment? What's the percentage interest? How long is it going to take me to pay this off? And I was looking at this and I calculated the amount of time it was going to take me to pay some of these things off with a high interest. I was like, I'm fine with my car loan, small single digits. I'm going to go after the other stuff first. Is that something where people can find some really good success? And then how do you get them to transition to then, okay, what else can we do with that money?
So I have a couple thoughts on that. One, regardless of the way you decide to do it, you have to execute what you set out to do. So when it comes time to decide how am I going to do this, I'm typically not as much worried about how. I mean, I have suggestions, but I'm more concerned with, are you going to execute this and get it done? Because that's the most important thing. And, when we're talking about debt and trying to get a budget, if you're a younger person who wants to be an investor, another area you can start is to cut your discretionary spending within reason. And one thing I noticed on the study was of the half of Gen Zers that think that the cost of living is a barrier to financial success, 42% identified dining out as one of those cost of living things that's a barrier to financial success. And it brought up a story, and it made me think about a couple of years ago, retired clients that we work with were telling me a story about their kids are young and getting started and asking mom and dad for financial help, but also going out to eat 4 and 5 times a week. And the mother made a comment to me that's really stuck with me over the years, and that was, it looks a lot easier to be poor now than when I did it.
Yeah.
And and let's just like, here's some harsh reality, right? When you're 23, 24, 25, very few people are not poor at that point in their life. There are some fortunate people who aren't. For the most part, we're all in the same boat. So it's going to take some intention. And if you can identify, hey, I'm dining out to eat 5 times a week. I'm not saying go to 0, but could you maybe cut it back to 3 and have a little bit more money to help you out? Could that 3 then go to 2 or 1? And I think if you can kind of think about, okay, what are how can I manipulate this or cut some things? You'd be able to find them. And they're certainly there. Everybody, and I can pick on myself, people my age and similar age, dining out to eat is much more popular as like a consistent activity for, I think, folks my age, similar age with families than it was 40 and 50 years ago.
For sure.
Well, I see the social part of it. I mean, I understand that. But I mean, you don't find supper clubs the way now, like the way they used to have them.
I'm saying to provide meals for a family.
Here's what's happened. Yeah. The industry's transitioned from it's an experience to it's a convenience.
Okay.
If you polled parents of kids under 10 and said, where's your kid's favorite place to eat? Let's all say it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
It's become, just saying, it's become like more of a necessity. Like, oh, what are we going to do for dinner? Chick-fil-A. You know what Chick-fil-A is for 2 kids? Like kids meals. It's $25.
Yeah.
And as a society, we now see Chick-fil-A as a necessity and Starbucks and Poncheros and all of these places. And they're not. I remember growing up, we went out to eat 1 time a month and to Chi-Chi's. That's it. Chi-Chi's or Pizza Hut. And typically if we went to Pizza Hut, it was because I had a book club and I was getting a free pizza.
Yeah.
That's it. Otherwise
Free
we didn't
personal pan
see a restaurant.
Yeah.
The young kids today, and this is not disrespectful to them, but they see Starbucks, Poncheros, all these places as systemic to their life. They need to have it. They just don't. DoorDash. Yeah. Go do DoorDash. I DoorDashed some wood the other night because I was having a fire and I might have had 1 or 2 too many whiskeys. The fire was low, so I DoorDashed. But I'm like $54 for 4 bundles of wood.
Well then,
that's usually $28, right? It's a necessity. I have to have the wood to burn tonight.
Right.
And why did I need 4 bundles? Had to make it worthwhile for the DoorDasher to come.
Exactly.
But
probably a better choice than driving, though. If you
1,000%, like it wasn't even a choice. They're like, we're out of wood. I'm like, DoorDash, they're coming. I mean, I threw in some marshmallows and some chocolate and a few graham crackers.
There you go. Yeah, had it ready to go.
I'm in a complete order.
Awesome. Nom, nom, nom. We're going to get back to something too. There's another one of the internet memes, the AIG-TBAA story, but we're going to get to that here in a second. I need to remind you that you need to go to premieriwm.com. That's much more understandable than AIG-TBAA. Premieriwm.com. Click Get Started. Okay, answer a few questions. They'll provide for you a free 1-page Premier Vision document and a free consultation that goes with that as well. They'll talk about whether you're ready for retirement. Take the financial wellness quiz. Find out if you're ready for retirement at premieriwm.com with Premier Investments and Wealth Management, named to Forbes 2025 Best in State Wealth Management Teams. You can call them as well, give them a ring-a-dingy, and set up the appointment at 800-383-6590. Okay, AIG-TBAA. There's a story of a mom she put up there on the interwebs. She said, you know what? I've worked, all my life, and I've taken care of my daughter. I mean, she's an adult, but when she's in her 30s, she's run out of money before rent, and she needs a car payment, or she needs a little money for this, or needs a little money for that. And we're going ahead, and we're talking, and she said, boy, you know what? It'd be awfully nice. It's going to be awfully nice when, I'm old and I need somebody to take care of me and you're going to be there for me. And she was like, oh, no, I'm not there for you. You got another thing coming. And then the mom said, AIG-TBAA, am I going to be something if I pull back and say no? The good news, Jonas, is that there are fewer Gen Zers who are expecting money from their parents and the amount of money that they're getting now that the pandemic and all of that inflationary thing is over is lower. But how do you relate as a parent to making sure that your kids don't become used to suckling on that teat?
Well, one of the things too that I try to tell people is creditors never forget.
Mm-hmm.
Debtors forget, but creditors never forget. So if you have a kid that's getting out of line with taking gifts, and start making them loans, and make this child accountable. But yeah, it looks promising. The Gen Z study said half of the Gen Zers expected to take less money than they're used to taking. So from $1,000 to maybe $500 a month. But it's a tough one. It's unique for everybody. I mean, how do you say no to your kids, Doug? I mean, it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
Like you want to have gravy on your mashed potatoes. You want to be invited over for Thanksgiving somewhere someday.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you say no to your kids? But I would start by, if it gets out of hand, start printing out some loan documents and have it. Yeah, seriously.
Reaction,
What do you
Roger,
guys
then
think?
Elias.
Reaction.
Hold on. Here's my reaction. Isn't $1,000 a month already out of hand?
That's what with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, it's up 500 now.
Yeah.
it's still. I mean,
Yeah.
here's what it is. I almost guarantee you, if you're getting if you're in your 30s, you're getting $1,000 from your parents. Number one, you're not listening to this show. But if you are, you were just brought up in a world where you got everything handed to you, and you believe Starbucks and Puncheros.
That's where I was going with that,
That's
too.
where all that money's going. Guaranteed. I don't know. If I would have told my parents I need $1,000 a month from them when I was 30, that'd have been a hard no.
I know.
Just no. Go.
I know.
They'd be like, spend less money. I mean, that's not bad. That's not knocking my parents. That's just the world that I grew up in, and I don't know. I can't believe that's normal.
Well, literally, because I mean, a lot of it. Gets into sociology and psychology of money. Is we've turned into our children's friends. A lot of people have turned into their children's buddies. Who's your pal? Who's your buddy? Not your parent that is there to provide guidance and instruction and discipline, but somebody you go, that kid, I got you. You don't worry about that.
So let me caveat this.
Okay.
So you're 30 years old. You lost your job. You haven't taken any money from your parents in a decade, and they got to spot you like $5,000. That's one thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. They like helping out. That's one thing.
Right.
This to me
If it's a regular
sounds like this is just pure financial support for
income
like
supplement.
the long period of time, and I don't get it.
Oh, even if
That's my reaction.
Yeah,
even at
Roger's
500, if it's 500 a month, so you were getting 120, 125 bucks a week from mom and dad. Like, my question would be like, we're in the ballpark of $100. Like, you can't figure this out.
Yeah.
We're not talking about budget deficit of $1,000 a week, right? Or $2,000, something that personally
Right.
would be hard to manage. Like $100, that's just it's irresponsible.
You know, what my
stuff.
parents would have told
Everyone
me,
can find $100.
deliver papers, get a job, get a
Side
side
gig.
job.
Side
Seriously,
hustle.
like
Yep.
$100, anybody can make $100 on the side. I won't say anybody. The vast majority of the population could go out today. They had to make $100 this week. They could get plasma. There's all kinds of things you could do. Make $100.
Elias, this, I guess, gets to the next point we want to talk about here, is the idea of financial education. I mean, this is something that we see that more and more Gen Z is adopting, and they're finding it in many more different ways. I would say that probably have a financial advisor that you can sit down and talk to rather than going to TikTok, though.
I think you can make an argument for both. I think the most successful young people that I've met, they do engage in financial education through all the different media sources out there. So podcast, radio, YouTube. I do find that they tend to gravitate towards things that I would consider are good financial education, not stuff that they're bringing up out of the sewer and the gutter of financial media. But I think those things, along with a professional to help you, can lead to a couple things. One, it's going to lead to very good conversations, a meeting of the minds of how you like to do things, what you want to accomplish, and the type of content you're consuming. But I don't think there's such a thing as, being too educated on a topic is certainly as important as money.
We'll get to Jonas Everett here in just a second.
I got one more thing I got to add. I'm reacting.
Roger's reaction.
Sorry.
React away.
So this study says half of Gen Z surveyed say the high cost of living is a barrier to their financial success. And these are what the barriers are. 63% say groceries. Okay, I agree. Groceries are expensive, but you can still go to the grocery store if you're prudent and not spend that much and have healthy meals for the week. But yes, if you're buying chips, bag of Ruffles, $7.99 the other day. I saw I'm like, $7.99 for Ruffles? Who's buying this? And but seriously,
I like them, but I don't think I like them that much.
Guess what's cheap? Carrots, celery, lettuce. Like, you can eat inexpensively. But here's what's crazy. 42% dining out. That was a barrier to their financial success. Cost too much. Why are they dining out?
Yeah.
That is not a necessity of life. That's a luxury. Like, if they told me this is why I can't afford to live, Mom, because I can't dine out, I'd just be like, tough luck.
Yeah, it can be a difficult one. Premier Investments in Wealth Management, helping you to figure out a way to have these conversations with your kids, even with your grandkids, amongst your family. It's important that if you've got your financial future in sight, because you've got a financial plan, pass that on. PremierIWM.com. Recommend that your kid, grandkid, go to PremierIWM.com. Click Get Started. It's never too early to start planning for retirement. They don't know if they're on track for retirement. Doesn't matter if they're 25 or 45. PremierIWM.com. Click Get Started. Answer a few questions. They'll provide a one-page Premier Vision document to you. And in addition to that, a free, no-obligation consultation. We'll sit down and walk through it with you. Premier Investments in Wealth Management named to Forbes 2025 Best in State Wealth Management Team. That appointment comes up free when you do that, get started and that whole thing. Or you can call 800-383-6590. Jonas Everett, the importance of making sure that people review their finances on a regular basis. When you're in that age group, that Gen Z or young people, they tend to get really busy really quick and things can get overwhelming for them. And sometimes it's like anything else. You forget to get an oil change. Your car is going to remind you right quick that you need an oil change. Financially, the same thing. If you don't review it as well, you're going to have issues.
You have to review it, and the best thing to do if you get distracted and you're super busy and you're younger is just try to automate and maximize your personal benefits.
Okay.
I use the upside down question to young people. I'm like, why don't you max your 401k out? Can't afford it. I'm like, well, just why don't you max it out and just take a loan on it 5 years from now? That's not good advice, but the money it's. What I'm trying to relay to them is that money's going to be there. And this goes back to, generations of, we talk about this investing in financial education. All the young people have to do is find a financial mentor. They have a family friend that is super financially successful. They could be a real jerk to talk to, but they would give them some lessons and advice that would be timeless. And probably the biggest lesson that a lot of people have is don't waste money and save a lot. Those two lessons are, and you could go on being distracted and super busy, but if you automate your savings and you save a lot and you don't waste money. And here's the nice thing, guys. What's the 12th wonder of the world, or the 7th wonder of the world?
The first, compound interest.
Compound interest.
Yeah. Well, it works both ways too.
Yeah.
Roger's reaction.
Works both ways. Your investments compound, but so does your debt.
Right.
So if you're living on debt, it compounds the other way.
Yep, that's a good point.
It does. That is a good point. It can become insurmountable. I think one of the things that's important for me is that I found out from not only talking with you guys, but talking with other people. I mean, we've had this taboo about talking about money. Maybe that wall has been broken with Gen Z at this point. I was talking with a coworker when he told me about the little trick with the HSA is that once you get up and over and above a certain amount, you actually can invest. And I was like, what? You can actually invest this and it can actually make money for you? Had no clue about that, Elias. It's important to take advantage of everything that's available to you if you can.
It is, and you should be attempting to maximize your employer benefits. I think before I'd get into HSAs and all that, I would hit on some more basic things, get the match in the 401k, like Jonas just said. What's stopping you from maxing out your 401k contributions every year? In addition to that, what's stopping you from maximizing your Roth IRA contributions every year, or a backdoor Roth if that's what you have to do? Or what's stopping you from putting away $20,000 a year into just a brokerage account, a non-retirement account?
Taxable.
To have, taxable non-retirement account. Just have some extra money for a rainy day. I think there's a lot of questions you can ask yourself, and you're going to find that, I think if you're intentional and you maybe have some harder conversations with yourself, you can find a way to maximize those things, get on an automated savings plan, get your debt paid off, start doing the basic things that all the people that are successful with money do. There's few things they all have in common: good savers, very little debt, or really a lot of them no debt.
Jonas, I'm going to go to you to talk, because we've talked about side hustles for a number of different times. You're really good at that. And then Roger, I'm going to go to you to wrap it up before we wrap up the program. Jonas, talk to me about side hustles, the importance of making sure, because especially nowadays, you have younger people who may have very good, well-defined skill set outside of what their professional job is.
Yeah, I mean, you look at ultimately, fast forward to retirement for Gen Zers, the most financially successful people that I've met, they have 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 different sources of income in retirement. It's just all not taking interest and dividends out of their 401k. So the more you can develop this knack of trying to find different sources of income. And Elias, kind of talk about you a little bit. For me, I know that my Social Security is going to be reduced and delayed. But for you, it's going to be probably severely reduced and delayed. So the importance of trying to find some other sources of income. I've heard these where, you buy a duplex and you rent out the other side, all of these things. But what are some of the things the younger generations are doing besides their full-time job to get another source of income coming in?
Well, there's a lot of people that talk about getting into rentals and real estate. That's harder. That's easier said than done. That's hard to do. I think there are young people that are doing like Uber and Lyft driving.
Yep.
I think a classic that's pretty much always going to be around, go work at a restaurant or a bar.
Yep.
I mean, those are most popular when outside of working hours anyway. And I think anyone who's ever done that, you can make a lot of nice extra cash through tips, like at a restaurant or a bar. I think if you have hobbies, like I would not tell anyone to get into reffing sports for the income, but it is extra money. So if you're young, it is, for like a high school football game, you can probably make $100 to $150 on a Friday night. So
and all the coaches really appreciate your work all the time.
Fans,
they praise you all the time. The coaches and the fans.
Yeah,
I'm sure they praise you and they send you Christmas cards. And
when was the last time a coach walked up and said thank you? You did a great job.
Actually, in the college league I work in, we do have a coach that any call that goes against the other team, he'll say, I just think that was a really great call. He does do that.
Right. We got about 90 seconds.
I can't even remember where I was going.
No, it's good.
How to make extra money.
You could you could grind.
Yes.
Like if you were going to grind and do some kid stuff and high school stuff, and you were doing it 4 or 5 days a week, you could grind and make a decent side hustle out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially, and if you do multiple sports, so that's one you could do. And then I was also going to say hobbies. Like if you like to golf, or if you're an outdoors person, you can get a part-time job working at a store. You can get a part-time job at a golf course. there's a lot of ways to make extra money.
Exactly. It makes complete sense. And this is something that's important to understand is that when you start doing things like that and you make it, if you are going to start grinding and doing those things, you better have an agreement within your household that the grind's going to be worth it and it's for a reason and for a specific time. Otherwise, it may go for a long time.
It's not for Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
We all said it on 3.
Exactly. It's not for Chick-fil-A. That's great. We love Chick-fil-A. Hey, premieriwm.com is the website. Click Get Started. Find out if you're ready for retirement, your kids' education, maybe that lake house that you've always been dreaming of, whether it be outside of Texas Hill Country, maybe an oceanfront, or maybe in the Iowa Great Lakes area. Go to premieriwm.com, click Get Started, and answer a couple of questions. They'll provide the one-page Premier Vision document, or call today to make your appointment at 800-383-6590. For Elias Randall, for Jonas Everett, for Roger Abel, my name is Doug Wagner. We'll talk to you next week.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA SIPC. The opinions voiced in this show are for general information purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments may be appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, accountant, and financial or tax advisor prior to investing. Premier Investments in Wealth Management and LPL Financial do not provide specific individualized tax or legal advice. We suggest that you discuss your specific situation with a qualified tax or legal advisor. Economic forecasts set forth may not develop as predicted, and there can be no guarantee that strategies promoted will be successful. All performance referenced is historical and is not a guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and cannot be invested into directly.
There is no assurance that the techniques and strategies discussed are suitable for all investors or will yield positive outcomes. The purchase of certain securities may be required to affect some of the strategies. Investing involves risks including possible loss of principal.
There is no guarantee that a diversified portfolio will enhance overall returns or outperform a non-diversified portfolio. Diversification does not protect against market risk. Forbes' Best in State Wealth Management Team's ranking was developed by Shook Research and is based on in-person, virtual, and telephone due diligence meetings and a ranking algorithm that includes a measure of each team's best practices, client retention, industry experience, review of compliance records, firm nominations, and quantitative criteria, including assets under management and revenue generated for their firms. Investment performance is not a criterion because client objectives and risk tolerances vary, and advisors rarely have audited performance reports. Shook's research and rankings provide opinions intended to help investors choose the right financial advisor and team, and are not indicative of future performance or representative of any one client's experience. Past performance is not an indication of future results. Neither Forbes nor Shook Research receive compensation in exchange for placement on the ranking. For more information, please see www.shookresearch.com. Shook is a registered trademark of Shook Research, LLC.